In the Bible, God put Job to the test. In this episode, Job takes on the form of a woman named Jem, while the part of God is played by a race of beings known as the Vians. The theme of testing one's worthiness is constant throughout Star Trek. It also runs through our own lives. We're tested in school, by our teachers, by our various governing bodies, and even our loved ones. We're tested for hearing, reflexes, intelligence, knowledge, even typing speed. Although the stakes don't come any higher than in the Empath, I hate to think of what life would be like if I couldn't pass my driving test.
And then, of course, the years went by, and the conventions just became more and more and more. We got more groups in, and then they started to say, hey, you know, maybe we should do something with this. So the turmoil in between, I would say, 71 and 79 as to trying to get that picture made was rather unbelievable, and I had about 3 or 4 nervous breakdowns during that time. It was released in 1979. It was Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That was it. And there were so many versions of that written before, too, all of which exist, which are really kind of fun and interesting, and someday may even see the light of day. Who knows? Well, that turned out to be a not too bad hit.
Get on with it.
I suppose it would be the Empath.
She must be an empath.
I thought it was so dramatically done. The entire stage was blacked out in black curtains, and everything was done in pin spots, the lighting. And I just thought it was so unique.
Exactly.
In the production values and the cinematography on it, I just thought it was, you'd look around and you think, gee, what a wild way to shoot a show. And maybe I'm being prejudiced and thinking of it from a production standpoint, but that pops into my mind.
Catherine Hayes, who plays the empath, Jem, does not utter a single word during this episode. Through her facial expressions and bodily gestures, she was able to convey an incredible amount of compassion and understanding. At times, you're not going to believe this until you see it, there are virtually no sets used. This helps with the slashed production budgets. Actually, this episode has a lot in common with an Outer Limits episode called Nightmare. That show also highlighted the hardships that aliens had put Earthlings through and contained sets that were extremely minimal. And interestingly, both Nightmare and the Empath were directed by the same person, John Erman. The members of the Enterprise crew are familiar with the trials and tribulations of being put to the test, and they aren't always given a clue as to what the stakes are and why they're being tested. Unlike real life, our crew always seemed to pass the test. Maybe that's why the audience loved the show.